make the time to post only one at a time. There's also option for you to advertise, and Facebook has a very good way of targeting the ability. And the details of the other, what makes Facebook different is they have a way to create the exact demographics of the audience that the recruiter intends to reach. When you type in age, sex, and keywords relating to those users, and basically everything to do with advertisement. There's actually going to be a free Facebook seminar, how to maximize Facebook. If you're interested to check out how to maximize Facebook, this free seminar is being offered by the Friends of John Kalu. You just Google it, it's gonna appear to you. If you can't find it, you can look for me at Facebook and I'll send you the link. Moving on, let's go to Twitter now. Twitter is a microblogging social networking service. And for me, even though I text a lot, I never migrated right away to Twitter. I don't know, I feel very private in sharing my thoughts, but only recently did I discover that Twitter actually is a very good platform because it's like you having the access to the most influential people you can imagine, and just by being a follower. And now I'm sure you can do this at Facebook because they have now this portion where I forgot the terminology. Subscriber, that's right. Thanks for supplying that. But also in Twitter, by being a follower, you could really listen for the thoughts or the opinions or even the information that's being forwarded by that particular thought leader. So here you can only send messages 140 characters each. This simple tool helps connect businesses more meaningfully with the right audience at the right time. So this is really powerful in the hands of smaller companies or recruiters who seek to gain advantage over their competitors. I think the sharing I mentioned earlier about this guy who eventually landed his dream job is a very, very good example on how you could really use Twitter also for recruiting. Yesterday when the speaker shared to you about how do you actually focus on competency interviews, when you properly phrased your questions and then posted it in your Twitter tweets, then you could really assess the competency of whoever will be responding to that tweet. Expansion is the next topic. Expansion of one's network is normally done by conducting a quick search for people discussing specific keywords. Categories for searches includes location, industry, interests, hashtag, popularity, and time. For me, the only difference of Twitter really is they really have their own terminologies also that it's not very difficult, but you really need to get the hang of it. Like they like to use hashtags before you could actually start filtering your search. So hashtags are used by the site to find and filter information and follow keywords to appear on search results. So this is one examples of hashtags. Hashtag, you write hashtag and then you write job or job post, employment, or NA, need a job. And more than one hashtag can be used per tweet, and company events and job fairs can also be marketed this way. Certain companies exist that allow companies to market to specific Twitter audiences. As again, this whole social media marketing, also created openings for a lot of companies to really help you directly in this particular strategy. So these companies would create custom job feeds for you and corresponding specialized Twitter profiles for each area of recruitment. So more on hashtags, it can also be used by companies to provide relevant information about themselves. Recruiters may also evaluate candidates based on their Twitter activity. This is basically from the point of view now of a recruiter. If you, for example, are starting to evaluate certain people in your lists, and let's say you're comparing up candidate 1 to candidate B, you can also use their Twitter activity to really see whether they're positioning themselves as, influencer in their circle, such as the balance between their followers and following, not to mention between personal and professional tweets. So these are the top social networks used for recruiting in 2012 by JobVite again. LinkedIn has remained the top-rated social network at 93%, followed by Facebook and Twitter. Twitter is starting to really close the gap, indicated by personal blogs. And of course, personal blogs and the Google Plus is closely trailing behind. And YouTube is also being used powerfully, as well as the other sites like the Second Life that I mentioned earlier. So for the recruiters who wanted to see what are my metrics as I use this strategy. So your time to hire, you could see that in terms of increasing, there is a 14% increase. A decrease in 21%. Candidate quality, there's an increase, 43%. Candidate quantity, major increase at 50%. And you could also bank on the referrals at 31%. I'm going to be leaving you with some of the best practices, but my invitation for you is go there, go to your Facebook, go to your LinkedIn, go to your, create a Twitter profile if you haven't have one, and then see which one of these recommendations will be true for you. These are not code of policies as what has been shared yesterday during the portion on law, but these are some very good pointers to consider. So you gotta have a clear goal, because at the end of the day you will be investing here, not just your time, but sometimes if you're gonna be hiring actually a consultant to do this for you, then there will be investment involved. It's crucial to set a strategy before implementing actual tactics. And of course, these tactics will be employed will vary depending on where in the recruitment process you would like to use the social media platform, either on creating branding and awareness, client lead generation, candidate pipelining, candidate and client communication, or employee engagement. Master one medium, and then afterwards you can move on. But the invitation really is, if you could make use of all three, that's the invitation. A common misconception among companies is that of social media recruitment being an all or nothing deal. You can move forward one at a time. It's best to start with one side. Different companies have different social media site preferences depending on their approach, and of course depending on the interface and features made available to them. As I mentioned, there would be time and dedication needed. Manage your online reputation. Social media relies heavily on word-of-mouth marketing. When I say word-of-mouth marketing, I would really like you to remember that, these are no longer going to be in full responsibility only of whoever is involved in the managing of the Facebook. Because the moment you really go into Twitter, you will really need to rely on your employees too. Which means it's going to really become a shared responsibility for everyone. Because here's the thing, the best person to really tell you about whether it's really wonderful to work at your company is someone who's already inside that organization. Whether that person is an entry level or already in that executive level position, people will really listen to them, to their voice. So if let's say they posted something on your Facebook account that you didn't like, and you removed it immediately, just consider what reaction people will make with you removing or sanitizing comments or feedbacks. Recruiters are advised to encourage employees to share their good experiences working with the organization. And I really wanted to highlight this because a lot of times when people have a great experience, those who are inclined to share the most are probably the ones who really had a good time. But if you give them proper incentive, those who are just testing whether it's really possible to post their feedback might move forward and actually be in action, sharing their great experience in your organization. It would also help to highlight unique knowledge and then share information with prospective hires. Create a user experience. The idea behind social media is to create open dialogue and build relationships with others. The goal then is to keep one's audience coming back by engaging them and piquing their interest. And it's also to your benefit because the more people like your website or like your comment or like your feeds, then the higher the possibility of you really appearing when they started to search for you. Let's say you go to Google and then they search for your company. It's going to be very easy if there's a lot of activity happening in your social media site. I actually have friends here in the room, and I have initially met them through activities related to my personal life, and I'm very happy that they have been actively using Facebook, and one of them is here at the front. I don't know if you guys are also into raw food. I'm a very just budding fan of raw food, and if not for her website, I would not have discovered the many benefits of raw food in my life and also in the life of our family. Would you like to wave your hand? You can ask her later, what's that raw food thing that she's mentioning? So, recruiters are strongly urged to listen to constructive feedback or criticism. And no need to meet all the suggestions, but at least consider them and give them some thought. Being known to take feedback into account builds trust, which allows for candid discussions regarding the company's value. Yesterday, Bjorn spent a lot of time in authenticity, correct? Basically, it's because it's really the most prized characteristic of an organization right now. And, with the social media starting to get a firm hold in our business, in our practices, really transparency is the name of the game. Highlight specific jobs. By all means, post all job openings, but only focus on promoting one at a time. And please also add information on what each particular job opening entails. This helps candidates to find which job is best suited to their talents and inclination. Visually stimulate. In general, images are better at capturing attention than walls of text. Interesting multimedia content is one of the best ways to get attention. There's this, if you could Google this later, there's this really great strategy by this company. It's called KPMG. I wanted to show it to you, but I cannot play today, but please Google it. Very powerful strategy. They really marry all of these social media sites into one powerful, cohesive communication. KPMG. KPMG Social Branding Strategy. As I've mentioned, this also will boost your rankings. The more you add to its presence in social media sites, the better the organic profile in search rankings. And search results are based on the number of visitors to each site, and association of a company with popular social media sites allow it to appear in as many search hits as possible. So, my invitation for you, if you have a Facebook and you haven't been inviting a lot of people to like your page, then do it. Have them like your company's web page or just view. Ask them to like you. in your Facebook profile. Prepare to change. New social media sites are constantly being established on a regular basis. They say that the next wave is applications. So right now, they're only being dominated by three, which you are very familiar now: Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. But the next wave really is flooding also of other applications, and they will also be competing at your attention. So recruiters are advised to remain vigilant with respect to the emergence of such up-and-coming sites. I wonder what's going to be the next one. I was still doing my graduate studies in 2004 when people started to ask me to go into Facebook. I said, I already have Friendster account. What will I do with, an additional social network website again? It's a good thing I still said yes, because at least now I can say that I'm familiar with that one, because in 2004 I reluctantly said yes to it. Promotion is key. Once the company's presence in social media sites is established, the next step is for it to make its presence felt. And you could really do this either by asking people to recommend your work, let's say asking a successful placement to share how you have helped them in getting that particular job they're into. Place links whenever possible, not only on the website, but also in marketing campaigns and automated emails as well. If you have not yet been doing this, not placing yet the links to either your YouTube, let's say you created already a video, it's already there, and it's not yet appearing in your material, in your brochures, then please do that already. So in conclusion,